In 2013, a 24-year-old Irishman woke at 5 a.m., walked through freezing Dublin darkness, and collected a €188 welfare check. Because fighting didn't pay his rent yet, his parents thought he was wasting his life. He'd come to blows with his father over quitting plumbing. 12 years later, that same man built an empire worth hundreds of millions. His name is Conor McGregor. The gap between €188 per week and where he stands today is the greatest financial leap any athlete has ever made. But the numbers don't tell you how. The 12-hour days laying pipes, the disapproval from family, the obsession with something most people thought was impossible. McGregor didn't just work his way up, he spoke his future into existence. In this video, you'll see the full transformation, from gray Dublin streets to the highest paid athlete on earth. You'll discover how he did it, what kept him going when everyone said no, and the moment that changed everything. This is the Conor McGregor story, and it starts in the darkness before dawn. The story begins in Crumlin, a working-class suburb of Dublin, Ireland. Conor McGregor was born July 14, 1988. He left school at 17, took work as a plumber's apprentice, waking at 5 a.m., working 12-hour days on construction sites. When he quit to pursue fighting, his parents disapproved. He came to physical blows with his father. With no income, McGregor survived on Irish social welfare. Just €188 per week, approximately $200. Less than $11,000 per year. His girlfriend Dee Devlin supported him through the lean years. Most athletes come from athletic families or scholarships. McGregor came from a welfare line. No safety net, no backup plan. Just a decision made against everyone who loved him, to bet everything on a future only he could see. But the foundation was laid years earlier, when a 12-year-old boy walked into a boxing club. In 2001, a 12-year-old Conor McGregor walked into Crumlin Boxing Club, not for a career, for survival against bullies who made school miserable. What he found was a natural talent for striking. By 18, he transitioned into MMA, found Straight Blast Gym, and coach John Kavanagh. In 2008, he won his professional debut. His career would reach 22 wins, 19 by knockout. The boxing club taught him talent could be a way out. For the first time, he wasn't failing, but McGregor was still unknown. That was about to change. Between 2011 and 2012, McGregor dominated the European MMA circuit, fighting for Cage Warriors. He became featherweight and lightweight champion simultaneously. The first fighter in Cage Warriors history to hold two titles at once. Coach John Kavanagh sent footage to UFC president Dana White. White flew to Dublin personally to sign him. The UFC contract arrived. The welfare check stopped. McGregor didn't wait for opportunity. On April 6, 2013, McGregor made his official UFC debut against Marcus Brimage in Stockholm, Sweden. He was 24 years old, unknown outside Ireland. He had 67 seconds to prove he belonged. McGregor knocked him out in just over a minute. The UFC had a new star. He earned $76,000 that night, including a knockout of the night bonus. Less than a year earlier, he was collecting €188 welfare checks. Now he earned more in one night than most Dublin families earned in a year. The Brimage knockout wasn't just a win, it was proof of concept. McGregor had been telling everyone he would be champion and rich. December 12, 2015. UFC 194, Las Vegas. The opponent was Jose Aldo, featherweight champion for over a decade. The fight lasted 13 seconds. McGregor fired a single left hand. Aldo crumpled to the canvas. The fastest title fight finish in UFC history. McGregor earned $4.4 million that night. The 13-second KO became the most replayed moment in UFC history. He was no longer a rising star. He was the biggest star the UFC had ever seen. For years, he said he would knock Aldo out fast. He was right about everything. The visualization had materialized in the most dramatic way possible. November 12, 2016, UFC 205, Madison Square Garden. If McGregor won, he'd become the first fighter to hold two UFC titles simultaneously. He dismantled Alvarez, finished him in round 2. Both championship belts in his hands. He earned $2.3 million. UFC 205 shattered every gate record in UFC history. August 26, 2017. Las Vegas. McGregor stepped into a boxing ring against Floyd Mayweather Jr., undefeated, 49-0, the greatest defensive boxer in history. The fight generated over $600 million in revenue, over 5.3 million pay-per-views, the most financially successful combat sports event in history. McGregor lost by TKO in round 10, but walked away with $100 million, more than his entire career combined up to that point. Forbes named him the world's highest-paid athlete, above LeBron, above Messi, above Ronaldo. The kid who collected 188 euros welfare checks was now the highest-earning athlete on the planet. In September 2018, McGregor launched proper No. 12 Irish whiskey. Named after his home postal code in Crumlin, Dublin, he was the majority owner. Within its first year, it became the fastest-growing Irish whiskey in American history. 300,000 cases sold. Number 1 in the United States. In April 2021, McGregor sold his majority stake to Proximo Spirits for $600 million. He netted approximately $200 million after taxes. His whiskey business became more profitable than his entire UFC career combined. October 6, 2018. UFC 229. McGregor lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov by submission. The event drew 2.4 million PPV buys, the highest in MMA history. He earned $50 million despite losing. Then came July 10th, 2021. UFC 264. Dustin Poirier. McGregor suffered a broken tibia and fibula at the end of round 1. His leg snapped at the ankle. Live on pay-per-view. One of the most disturbing moments in UFC history. As of 2025, McGregor's net worth stands at $200 million conservatively. Career fight earnings exceed $235 million. The welfare kid became the wealthiest combat sports athlete in history. Beyond fighting, he owns a luxury pub empire, August McGregor Clothing, and real estate across Ireland and Europe. The boy who laid pipes for 188 euros a week now travels by private jet. McGregor proved fighters could be brand builders. The 188 euro welfare check is the foundation of the story. It represents proof that visualization works, that rejection isn't permanent. The gap between 188 euros per week and hundreds of millions isn't closed by talent alone. It's closed by vision. McGregor saw himself as champion before he was one. The visualization wasn't arrogance, it was strategy. Your starting point doesn't determine your ceiling. He refused to accept the story others had written. He wrote his own. From 188 euros welfare checks to the $100 million Mayweather night to the $600 million whiskey empire. This is Conor McGregor's impossible rise. From welfare lines to Forbes lists. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe. What moment hit you hardest? Drop your answer below.